Well, good. Good afternoon. I'm excited to get started with this session. Let me see. All right. So an elderly gentleman was driving home. He got a call from his wife saying, "Hey, are you on the road?" He said, "Yes, and I've got to pay attention." She said, "Listen, you need to be really careful. It's all over the news. The roads are really dangerous tonight. Some idiot is driving on the wrong side of the street." And he said, "It's more dangerous than that. Everybody but me is driving on the wrong side of the street." All right. Yeah, I've been telling jokes here a long time. And so, sometimes I think about one, I'm like, you know what? I never tell that one. Okay, last year, a year ago, I told the Super Bowl joke, and I was, I don't know, I felt kind of bad about it afterwards. Yeah, I mean, it's still a good joke. I wondered, it's like, oh, gee, oh, thinking about more mortality, like it seemed kind of heavy, for a joke. But you know what? Afterwards, after I told the joke, somebody came up and they told me this one, where the Buffalo man was making out his will, and his wife saw it, and she said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa! What is this? In your funeral instructions, you have put aside $200,000 for the defensive line of the Buffalo Bills to carry your casket and lower it into the earth. Isn't there some other way we could get this done?" He said, "You know what? I just thought at my funeral that the Bills could let me down one last time." All right. Yes, it is. All right. Well, today, we've been studying the Haudenosaunee, the indigenous peoples of New York State. But I thought today we could do something a little different. We are going to, since it's Super Bowl Sunday, we're going to play a game together. This is a team. We can all be on the same team. But we really got to work together. Well, tell me this. Do we want to play this all on one team, or do we want to play this on separate teams? Are we feeling competitive or cooperative? This can work either way. Yeah, that's good. That's what I was hoping for. I think this will be fun for us. This game is called cultural appropriations. Now, as we know, or as we might not even think about it, for the last 500 years, or here in North America for this last about 300 years, European Americans have kind of freely borrowed Native American ideas, words, recipes, farming methods, all of these different things. It's almost like, it's almost as if European America had defeated Native America in a war, and kind of just inherited all of their stuff. And so we have many things that we borrow from Native American cultures. And these are cultural appropriations, parts of other cultures that we have appropriated for our own purposes. Some of this is harmless, and some of it is pretty insensitive, and then some of it is actually like really kind of racist and nasty. that's the challenge of this game. I'm going to put something on the screen, something that we have, that our culture has just appropriated, just kind of taken from Native American cultures. And the challenge is we, as a team, need to come up with some intelligent answers to these 4 questions. For us to appropriate this Native American thing that I'm about to show us, how can real, living Native Americans benefit from this? That might be a difficult one. How can real, live Native Americans be harmed by this appropriation? And then how can non-natives benefit from this appropriation, and how can non-natives be harmed by it? So these, we want to come up with, a couple of intelligent answers. And when I say intelligent answers, what I mean is it doesn't have to be your answer. It doesn't have to be what you believe in. But I just want you to try to think of, what could an intelligent person say? So we're going to start out with maybe kind of a simple one. How many of us here, and no guilt, no shame, how many of us here own a dream catcher? One or more dream catchers? That's almost all of us here. And how many of us here have ever given a dream catcher as a gift to someone else? And again, many of us have. The dream catcher, that is a Native American thing. And yet for us, if it's like your nephew's birthday and you go out and you get a dream catcher, or like when I first left for college, my mother bought me a dream catcher and I hung it up above my bed. I'm sure she didn't mean any harm. I'm sure she wasn't thinking like, oh, we're gonna like steal this away from Native Americans. So these 4 questions, I want for us to come up with, a couple of intelligent answers to each one. The first one might be a difficult one. How can real, living Native Americans in the year 2023 actually benefit from non-natives giving, receiving, and hanging dream catchers? Yes.
Well, if the person who gives or receives the dream catcher actually learns something about why they have them, that it is allowing other people to see their culture, and that could be beneficial because it would promote more understanding.
Good, excellent, good. So, giving, receiving dream catchers, it can encourage learning. It can encourage, kind of a positive view of something that is Native American. So that's an excellent answer. What are some other ways that real Native Americans could possibly benefit from? Yes.
Well, I bought we got a few of them. We bought it from in Arizona, a native who was selling them. So they must have thought it was beneficial to them. But also, it's work. I think we get nightmares, and I can be my area and stop having nightmares. Sorry, I didn't. But I think that it's good for them because it's something that we appreciate, and I think it's good for them that they have appreciation for people who use it.
Yes, good. So yes, one way is definitely there can be an economic benefit. Someone who makes dream catchers, someone who sells dream catchers, that can be a good, good money maker for a reservation. It can be a good fundraiser. And then also, yeah, if people get one and they find that they do kind of benefit from it. So good. Are there any other ways that we can think of that real natives could benefit from this cultural appropriation?
Good vibrations.
Uh-huh.
Fewer bad vibrations.
Yeah. That's good. Yes, I think that this shape, it does. It kind of, you could say it spreads a kind of positivity. So good. Let's move on to the second question now. How could Native Americans be harmed by the commerce of dream catchers? Uh-huh. Mhm. Okay. Good. Yeah, it might, somebody might, take something that's very serious and something very spiritual and use it kind of lightly, or, use it for, like you said, for something as something kind of frivolous. I guess, yeah, I guess you could use a dream catcher as a feather duster. But yep, good. So that's something that could be harmful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be kind of people might have disrespect, not appreciating it, and therefore it would be negative.
Yeah.
Not recognize its cultural value.
Now it's true. It's true. I received a dream catcher when I went off to college. I did not then like look up, I did not like study it or read about it or think about what particular, tribe it comes from, what it means in that context. So there is that. And also to kind of mix up a sacred symbol with commerce, with like buying and selling and, and money. This is somebody's, really sacred thing. And, it comes from a culture in which people would make things, and that was very sacred. They would give things, but not make a bunch of something to sell it. A dream catcher. If I am going to like the gas station, and I see that I can buy a dream catcher for like $6, do we think that was made by, like, handmade by real Native Americans? Probably not. It was probably made in, it was probably made in Asia somewhere. And then, if you buy that like $6 dream catcher, and and in some cases you end up with something that's like kind of cheap and chintzy. Real Native Americans could be kind of offended by that. What do you think it would cost? I mean, if somebody really did handmade dream catchers, when we think about the components of a dream catcher, you've got to take this stick, you've got to wrap it up with thongs of what? What do you think that the string is? What do you think this is held together with? It's leather. It's like deer hide leather. And so, the making of one of these to actually, hunt and skin a deer, to tan its hide, to cut the leather into these little strips, to hunt the birds or find the feathers, like actually, a dream catcher. It's a very involved process. It combines, it's got some wood, from the earth, it also has part of a four-legged creature. It also has the wings of another creature. It combines all of these different life forces. That is something that, for someone who makes dream catchers in the traditional way, they might find it really offensive to think that somebody is mass manufacturing and then like selling this thing that's supposed to be very sacred. All right. What? Through Walmart. That's right. Through Walmart, or or at a gas station, or at like a casino gift shop. Another thing we need to keep in mind with the dream catcher, and we'll look at this in a moment, is that it's not something that all Native Americans do. It's something that all Native Americans need to have in the gift shop, because people are going to ask for it, whether they're in New Mexico or Alaska or, Western New York or North Carolina. But as we'll see in a moment, it comes from one very specific group of people. Okay. This might be an easy one. How can non-natives benefit from dream catchers, from like buying, selling, giving, owning dream catchers? What do we like about dream catchers? Yeah. Uh-huh.
And doesn't have bad dreams, but then I can just happen this week. I'll have a bad dream, and I go, oh, I forgot to do what else can we
Yeah.
out of it?
Yeah. Wow. Okay. No, that does sound real. There are in Native American traditions, there are sacred objects, ritual objects like drums and masks that, in order to kind of retain their spiritual energy, they need some human contact. They need to be touched, or they need to be breathed on, they need to be sung to, they need to, and that's part of, in these beliefs, that's part of how it gets its energy, that we recharge it. So I think that's a really interesting story about how some attention, some respect, some human contact kind of seems to renew, to recharge this spiritual item. Yeah. How else can dream catchers be beneficial to us? How else can we benefit from having dream catchers? They're pretty. They look really nice. I've never encountered anybody who was like bothered or offended or annoyed by seeing a dream catcher. It's a nice looking thing. It makes your room look nicer. So that's good. And another benefit, obviously, is like, if you're on your way to your, niece's birthday party and you don't have a gift, you could probably just run into the gas station and, say, here is something profound. Maybe it's something profound that I know very little about, but here's something that's meaningful to someone. And it makes a nice gift. Now this might be a tough one. Can dream catchers be harmful to non-natives? Can it do any harm to like own or buy or sell or give a dream catcher?
We might be disrespected by a Native American when they thought came from different.
Good. Yeah, that's right. That's right. There's always the possibility that some real Native American is going to show up and kind of ask like, what what's up with this? Or how much do you know about this? Or, you know, like, what do you think this thing is going to do? Okay, yeah, that's right. Said you could be accused of being woke. Yeah. Yeah, I'm still like my vocabulary is still needs to grow in terms of what that is and why people are so excited. Good. You know, it can also you know, it can also give us some false ideas about other people's religion. Somebody who, for example, somebody who received a dream catcher and didn't notice any change might then feel like, oh, well, you know, native religions, they don't work, or, you know, this is all, it's just, you know, somebody might think of it like as a magical item, and then think of it as a magical item that's ineffective.
And like anything that's in that same school of items, you know, embracing a lot of that. If you put too much confidence in it, you might avoid something that you should not be avoiding.
Yes.
Like really going to the dentist or something or other, whatever you're looking.
Uh-huh. Yep. Yes. Yes. So the dream catcher is kind of fascinating. The dream catcher is not, as I said, it's not a universal Native American thing. The dream catcher belonged to the Ojibwa, which is some tribes just north of here in what we would call Canada. Actually, Canada is a Native American name, so I guess some Native Americans would also call it Canada. Now, the dream catcher is made of 3 symbols from nature. So let's see if we can figure this out. What are the 3 symbols here, and what might they mean? First of all, what is the basic shape that's common to all dream catchers?
There's usually a round circle with no breaking.
Yeah, it's generally a circle. And in indigenous spiritualities, the circle can represent that which has no beginning and no end, that which has no top and no bottom. You know, a circle, it is a sign of balance. It's a sign of equality and connection. There are feathers, feathers representing flight and freedom and movement. And then this shape that's woven inside of it. Where in nature do we see something that looks like that? What natural thing is that supposed to look like?
Well,
I think it's right, they catches the dream.
Yeah, I think so too. The shape. Mhm. Yes, it looks like a spider web, and I think that's the idea, is that as dreams are coming, they will kind of be attracted to this spider web, and then the bad ones can get stuck in here. The good ones will find their way downward through the feather. Uh-huh. Yeah. It does. It also does look like a flower. All right. Now that we've done that one, we're going to try another round of this. This might be more challenging, but it seems appropriate for Super Bowl Sunday. We're going to talk about sports mascots, Native American themed sports mascots. The Washington football team is no longer called the Washington Redskins. When I used to see like the Washington Redskins insignia, I would always wonder how many Native Americans are on this football team. As far as I know, not one. You know, the Chiefs, the name of the Kansas City football team, that is another, oddly enough, not oddly enough, but that is a kind of a cultural appropriation, even though chief is a French word. There was no Native American tribe. Every Native American tribe, and when the Europeans arrived, there were an estimated 2,000 indigenous languages being spoken here, but none of them used the word chief. That was just the French word for whoever was in charge. But the word chief, it has become heavily associated with Native Americans. There are also baseball teams like the Indians and the Braves. There is a college football team, the Florida State Seminoles. Apparently, you can even watch the Braves and the Indians like play against each other in baseball games. So this one can be a challenge because this is a really controversial issue right now. How could real live Native Americans possibly benefit from this kind of representation as like sports emblems or mascots?
They all portray strength.
Okay, good. So, you know, why were these emblems, why were these symbols chosen? They were chosen as symbols of strength and, you know, fortitude. They were chosen as, you know, something that was to be, that could be respected and feared. We don't think of it that way anymore. But, you know, 100 years ago when these you know, things were getting started, that was part of it. Good. Are there any other ways in which real live natives could benefit from these symbols and mascots? Well, when the team owners are in trouble, when they feel that they're being pressured and criticized by indigenous groups, what do they tend to do?
Do things to help them by uniforms with their own team.
Okay, so you know, sometimes there is a guilt that turns into some kind of some kind of charity, some kind of recognition. So I'm not saying that makes up for it, but that is a way in which real people do actually benefit from this. How else? What's another way that real live natives could actually benefit from this? When indigenous peoples get angry about this, how do they generally express that anger? They don't like set the stadiums on fire. What do? They protest it. And you know, being involved, there is a long tradition of indigenous peoples being parts of protest movements. And that, you know, is when that gains attention, that is one of those reminders of indigenous pride and culture and survival. That can be beneficial. Harmful. How can sports mascots like this be harmful to real live Native Americans? Yeah. That's right. Yes. No, it can. It can become a joke and an insult. You know, when the team is losing, there can be like, you know, racially offensive things that are being said. If you know, if the Yankees were playing against the Indians, It could be that some Yankees fans would say, you know, culturally would use the word Indian in culturally insensitive ways. Red skin obviously is like a racial slur. That one is on its way out. Good. And you know, and then also if the Chiefs or the Indians or the, you know, or the Braves or whatever are on a losing streak, then that can kind of make it sound bad. How do non-natives benefit from the use of these words and symbols? They must have thought it was a good idea. I mean, at some point, this I'm not asking for your own opinion, but how might an intelligent person try to justify this? What do they get from it?
Well, I guess some of the respect and pride that people bestow on the courage and the fortitude and the excelling in physical things that we think the Indians did.
Okay. Yes, you know, if we think of like Native American warriors as examples of pride and strength, you know, that's something that people, you know, people who play for teams like this can aspire to, maybe want to learn something about. I know that in youth sports, they tend to use some of the same team names as in professional sports. And so for like children to play on teams that are called, you know, Chiefs or you know, Braves or whatnot, can encourage them to learn something about that. Good. What are some other ways in which, because there is a big controversy about this. Some of the teams are changing their names and symbols, some are not. So they must still feel that there's something good about it. Yeah.
Well, there's one aspect that probably isn't very nice or very moral. The plain fact that it's beneficial to non-natives because they're tools through which they can make money.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. These are, you know, there is the merchandising, these things, these brands are, they're worth something, tremendous sums of money, change hands. People, you know, people benefit from this in a lot of ways. Good. Sometimes then they feel guilty and they give a charitable handout to a local reservation. But the what? But they're still benefiting from this. How can non-natives be harmed by the use of sports mascots like this? Are there any ways in which this can be harmful for someone?
If the natives take offense.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I would say if you're like, you know, on the Cleveland subway wearing a t-shirt that's got this, somebody might walk up and kind of demand that you explain yourself, that you'd be willing to stand up for that. So good. He is gone. Yeah. This symbol is heading toward extinction. I haven't taken it out of this this presentation yet. But yeah, I will come back to that. Please.
And we're all protesting outside,
Yeah.
Except for two of us who decided to protest inside and watch.
We decided to protest and watch a game where the Indians were playing. Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay, so they were protesting at the baseball stadium. Uh-huh.
Seems like
Uh-huh. Yeah. That's right. Well, so yes, yeah, no, it can make somebody look, ignorant and disrespectful. All right, and then when I was doing my research for this, I came across this. This seems harmful no matter what. But I am happy to say that that Washington has changed the name of its football team, and also because of protests, the believe it or not, the Chief Wahoo mascot is being phased out. So there is some movement on this, but on the other hand, a team called the Chiefs is heading to the Super Bowl today, and I haven't heard anything about them considering a name change. All right, well, I think as a team, I think we won this game. We managed to come up with intelligent answers to all four of these. So good. In our next session, we will continue with Haudenosaunee law and law enforcement. So thank you very much, and I'll see you again next month. Good, thank you.